Q&A Review, print speaking to the blind, celebrating 40 years of audio newspaper production. Welcome to this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, recorded at the Bishopbriggs Media Centre by our amazing volunteers. You can get in touch with us via Facebook, Twitter or Instagram using @Q&A Review. That is @CUEANDREVIEW. You can also contact us directly by emailing information@QNreview.com. That is INFORMATION or by calling 0141 772 3976. That's 0141 772 3976.
The Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald podcast, date Wednesday the 17th of April, is read to you by volunteers Alan, Corey, Hunter, Ian, Philip and Rebecca.
Eligible voter numbers stable. The number of registered voters in Scotland for UK parliamentary elections is stable. That's according to statistics published today by National Records of Scotland, NRS. There were 4,007,200 people registered to vote last December, down just 0.1% on the previous year. This report is the first to show breakdowns for the new UK Parliament constituency boundaries, which came into force late last year. Eligibility is different for Scottish parliamentary and local government elections, and the number of electors is higher at 4,241,800. This also fell slightly by 0.05%. There were nearly 189,500 foreign nationals registered to vote in Scottish parliamentary and local government elections. This is up 4.4% on the previous year and is the highest number ever recorded. This group represents 4.5% of the total electorate. Nearly 1 million people, or 22.2% of the electorate, are registered for postal voting in UK parliamentary elections, slightly lower than the 23.1% recorded for the previous December. Similarly, 21.7% of the total electorate are registered for a postal vote in Scotland in Scottish parliamentary and local government elections, again down on the 22.5% recorded for the previous year. Sandy Taylor, head of electoral statistics, said, "The number of people registered to vote has remained stable in the last year. Almost a quarter of the electorate is currently registered to vote by post. Our analysis shows registering for postal voting was generally higher in more rural or remote constituencies." Read by Alan Todd.
This week in history. April 19th, 1956. Prince Rainier III of Monaco married actress Grace Kelly. On this day last year, the King's coronation procession would be led by a cross that included religious relics gifted to the monarch by the Pope. It was announced. April the 20th, 1841. The Murders in the Rue Morgue by Edgar Allan Poe, considered to be the first modern detective story, was published in the USA. April the 21st, 1945. Ivor Novello's Perchance to Dream opened at the London Hippodrome with his now classic song We'll Gather Lilacs. The show ran to 1,022 performances. On this day last year, John Travolta's Saturday Night Fever suit went up for sale at auction, complete with authentic sweat marks. April the 22nd, 1969. Yachtsman Robin Knox Johnson sailed into Falmouth to complete his 312-day, non-stop, round-the-world voyage. On this day last year, Australian comedian Barry Humphries, creator of Dame Edna Everage, died aged 89. April the 23rd, 1968. The first decimal coins appeared in Britain. They were the 5 and 10p pieces which replaced the old 1 shilling and 2 shilling coins. On this day last year, a smiling Prince Louis was photographed being pushed in a wheelbarrow by his mother, the Princess of Wales, ahead of his 5th birthday. And that was read by me, Ian McKenna.
out-of-use bikes given to charity. Abandoned bicycles across Scotland's railway network are to be given a new lease of life as ScotRail introduces a policy that will see unclaimed bikes renewed or recycled. The new strategy will allow ScotRail staff to identify and label bicycles considered abandoned before placing them in secure storage to be reclaimed. If the bikes aren't reclaimed within 3 months, they will then be recycled or donated to ScotRail's nominated cycling charity for reuse. Cycling UK has been chosen by ScotRail to support redistribution of any unclaimed bikes. The charity is committed to getting more people cycling in a better environment. New signage will now be rolled out across all ScotRail stations designed to inform owners about ScotRail's new policy. David Lister, ScotRail Safety and Sustainability Director, said, "It's great to see so many of our customers cycle to our stations, but it's right that we maintain sufficient cycle parking by removing and recycling unwanted or abandoned bikes. Our new policy will be highlighted to customers through improved signage, and there is a 3-month grace period for abandoned bikes to be reclaimed. We're delighted to be able to collaborate with Cycling UK, enabling abandoned bikes to be renewed or reused, sharing ScotRail's commitment to delivering low-carbon, environmentally friendly ways to travel." Sarah McGonigal from Cycling UK said, "Recycling an abandoned bike can change someone's life, so we're delighted that ScotRail is rolling out this fantastic initiative. The benefits of cycling are huge, but you can't choose to cycle if you don't have access to a bike. This scheme will provide new owners with the health and well-being benefits that come from cycling, plus increased independence through a low-cost transport option." Meanwhile, ScotRail have announced Joanne Maguire has been appointed Interim Managing Director following Alex Hines' 2-year secondment to the UK Government Department for Transport. She said, "I am very proud to take on this new role and grateful for the opportunity to build on the work we have been doing at ScotRail."
Writer and former doctor shows support for charity. BAFTA-winning writer and former NHS doctor Adam Kay visited Gartnavel General Hospital to help plant a tree marking those healthcare professionals who have taken their own lives. The National Memorial Tree Campaign, led by medical mental health charity Doctors in Distress and in association with its patron, Adam Kay, is to honour the memory of those healthcare professionals and highlights NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde's commitment to protecting the mental health and well-being of its staff. The tree, a native ribbon symbolising life and protection, is the charity's first in Scotland. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde Non-Executive Director Michelle Wales said, "Having this tree right outside the main hospital and Gartnavel campus will hopefully give staff a place where, even for a short time, they can pause for reflection. We treat our duty of care to all staff as a fundamental cornerstone of how we act as an organisation, and we have a number of supported mechanisms in place staff can access if they need support." Adam said the first step in solving a problem must be admitting that the problem exists. He added, "This is something I tried to highlight in the BBC adaptation of my book, This Is Going to Hurt." The series culminated in the death by suicide of a doctor called Shruti, a fictional character based on so many tragic stories. In the show, a tree was planted in her memorial, which has led to trees being planted in real-life hospitals to commemorate lost colleagues. I'm very proud to support Doctors in Distress in raising awareness of this.
MP moves to reassure public over road safety, as recorded by Hunter MacDonald. Amy Callaghan has moved to reassure residents after concerns were raised over public safety in the local area. The Eastern Bartonshire MP was speaking after she and fellow local elected members, Marie McNair MSP, met recently with local area Commander for Eastern Bartonshire Chief Inspector Aidan Higgins. They were joined by Eastern Bartonshire Council's Chief Executive Anne Davey and Bearsden North Councillor Callum Smith. The meeting took place after concerns were raised in the local community due to a number of police incidents, including a serious road accident at Bearsden where a cyclist sadly lost her life. In another incident, police have arrested a man in connection with an alleged sexual assault near a local park. Miss Callaghan told the Herald, "This is an incredibly worrying time for residents across Eastern Bartonshire, and I am grateful to Chief Inspector Higgins and Anne Davey for meeting with me and colleagues to discuss the concerns of the community. I want to reassure residents across the community that we hear your concerns and take your safety very seriously. The safety of residents across Eastern Bartonshire is a top priority, and I remain in regular contact with the police, the local authority and other elected members to ensure we work together to alleviate these concerns and improve community safety across the region."
Millersnook pupils get quizzical. A team of 4 quiz brains from Millersnook Primary in Lenzie has won the council-wide heats of the annual Euroquiz competition and will go on to represent Eastern Bartonshire in the national finals. The P6 pupils took on 28 teams from schools across the area in the quiz and came up trumps with their knowledge of all things European. They will face 32 other teams from all parts of Scotland when they attend the national finals at the McEwen Hall in Edinburgh on Monday, June the 10th. The quiz is organised by the Council's Education Service and the Scottish European Educational Trust, with support from the European Parliament Office in the UK. Questions cover topics such as history, geography, culture, European affairs, general knowledge and pupils' knowledge of French, German, Spanish and Italian. Runners-up in the Eastern Bartonshire heats this year were Craigdhu Primary in Mulgai. Education convener, Councillor Linda Williamson, helped host the quiz, which was held at Douglas Academy in Mulgai, and she was impressed by the knowledge on display. She said, "I am genuinely blown away by the knowledge and language skills of the children in Eastern Bartonshire who take part in the Euro quiz each year. Every member of every team had clearly worked very hard to prepare for this year's competition, and each competitor and their teachers should be very proud of themselves. Well done to everyone who took part, but special congratulations to the winners, Millersnook Primary, and also to Craigdhu Primary who were runners-up. I have every faith that Millersnook Primary will do us proud at the national finals. I wish them the very best of luck and look forward to cheering them on." Meanwhile, plans to improve the infrastructure and facilities of 3 primary schools are one step closer after approval was granted by planning. The replacement of Balmuldy Primary School and refurbishment of Bearsden and Mulgai's primaries are now in the pre-construction phase, and once this is finalised, the anticipated build cost will be reported to the council. Vital grants are available. Community groups across Eastern Bartonshire are being encouraged to apply for funding from the council, but they better be quick, as applications close at the end of this month. From flower power and music and care homes to sports and support for people with additional needs, the Community Grant Scheme is making a difference across Eastern Bartonshire. The latest round of funding is open for applications until April the 26th. Organisations carrying out work at the heart of local communities are being offered the chance to apply for 2 different awards: a grant of up to £5,000 or a grant of up to £10,000. The maximum, over the course of the year, an organisation can apply for is £15,000. Eastern Bartonshire Council's Community Grant Scheme regularly supports a huge range of projects, improving the lives of people of all ages. You can find out more about how to apply, previous recipients and criteria by visiting the grant's webpage, www.easternbarton.gov.uk/community-grants-scheme. That is the grant's webpage, www.easternbarton.gov.uk/community-scheme. Council leader Gordon Lowe said, "The Community Grant Scheme is one of the main ways we are able to provide funding directly to groups, organisations and projects carrying out vital work locally. From youth groups, older people in active travel to horticultural clubs And carers, a wide range of initiatives have been supported in the past. Don't miss out, visit our website for more information or get in touch. The Council has allocated support from the UK Government's Assured Prosperity Fund, and applications are being invited from groups which have a constitution, have a bank account, are not for profit, and aim to bring benefits to the residents of East Dunbartonshire. Applying for a grant via the online form is simple, and guidance and eligibility criteria can be found on the Council website, eastdunbarton.gov.uk/community-grants-scheme, as spelt out earlier. Assistance can be sought by emailing communityplanning@eastdunbarton.gov.uk. That's assistance can be sought by emailing communityplanning@eastdunbarton.gov.uk or calling 0300 123 4510. Applications are assessed by the Grants Advisory Committee.
Hunt for best restaurant. If you have a favourite restaurant in the area, now is the time to put them in the spotlight. The Good Food Guide is calling on the nation to help find Britain's best local restaurant. Last year, more than 37,000 food lovers nominated their favourite restaurant or cafe, with the Good Food Guide whittling down a long list of 1,800 restaurants to eventually crown Tallow in Tunbridge Wells the best local restaurant 2023, but who will take the crown for 2024? Nominating your favourite local eatery for the awards couldn't be simpler. Just head to www.thegoodfoodguide.co.uk/best-local-restaurant/2024/nominations. Enter the restaurant details and tell us what makes it so special to you and why it deserves to be one of the Good Food Guide's 100 best local restaurants of 2024. Every nomination will be entered into a prize draw to win a £250 restaurant voucher to be redeemed at a Good Food Guide restaurant of your choice.
Pupils buried time capsule at housing development. Pupils from St Philomena's Primary in Rob Royston were invited along to Taylor Wimpey's Monument Way development to bury a time capsule. The time capsule has been buried within the first phase of the development and it is sealed until 2073. It is hoped the time capsule captures a snapshot of local life now. As a whole school project with every class providing items for the time capsule, the children have created an interesting picture of modern life in Rob Royston, which is now sealed for future discovery. The time capsule will make a very interesting discovery in 50 years. The items the children have sealed inside the time capsule include letters to their future self, which outlines their aspirations for their careers, some recent class pictures, a Scotland football shirt, and boots to note the country's qualification for the UEFA Euro 2024, an old model mobile phone, glasses, some of the children's favourite toys such as a transformer, UNO, and a fidget, an analogue clock, and a playlist from Primary 5-6, which tells the recipient about their favourite music. They also provided a school tie, a local newspaper, and a very commemorative St Philomena's souvenir brochure dated 1940 to 1990, which includes history about the school and pictures of old teachers. Another very special item that has found its way into the time capsule is an old glass milk bottle which was found under the floor of the school's old gym hall floor when the school was refurbished in 2008. It has been kept safely in the deputy head teacher's office. It's now inside the time capsule with a helpful note to describe what it is and where it was originally left under the floor by the builders at the time of the school's construction in 1963. The pupils have fully embraced and enjoyed the project that was set for them by the Taylor Wimpey team, as Mrs McShane, deputy head teacher at St Philomena's Primary School, said, "This has been a fun project for the whole school to be involved in, and it's been a lovely opportunity for the children to make a little bit of local history in their community. This project has been a great way for the children to think about the regular items they use in their everyday life and whether children in the future will still use them in 50 years. We have also had a great time visiting the development, and it was quite exciting to see the time capsule buried, knowing that we've sealed some local history for discovery in 50 years. Audrey Ross, Sales and Marketing Director for the Taylor Wimpey West Scotland, said, "We enjoy being part of the local community where we build, and a time capsule is a fun way of communicating from the present day to the future. Our project with St Philomena's Primary School is a great way for us to capture some memories of what it's like to be a child growing up in Rob Royston now, that I'm sure will make an interesting discovery at the development in years to come when it's opened. We're proud of how the children have embraced the project, and they've provided some really interesting items that are now sealed and buried at the development in the time capsule until 2073.
Check the credentials. If you're planning work on your property, use a trader you can trust. That's the advice from East Dunbartonshire Council, who are urging homeowners to take care when choosing a tradesperson and to follow the advice on their Trusted Trader initiative. Advice from the Council is aimed at those planning to call in the experts, from plumbers and builders to bathroom fitters and roofers. The East Dunbartonshire Trusted Trader initiative is supported by the Council and Trading Standards and provides easy access to a list of local and reputable vetted businesses. The initiative aims to give householders across East Dunbartonshire increased confidence that they are engaging in the services of legitimate traders, promote good practice within local businesses, protect residents from doorstep crime, and generate custom for local companies. Councillor Paul Ferretti told the Herald, "It's great news that a wide range of local businesses have signed up for the Trusted Trader scheme, providing reassurance to potential customers that they are reputable and reliable. If you're planning to have work done on your property, check out the website where you can search for a business and view comments from previous customers. It's also the place to go if you're a local trader and interested in joining the scheme. As well as encouraging those looking for work to be carried out to check their credentials of prospective workies, the scheme also encourages local tradesfolk to sign up, be vetted and get listed. The Council's Trading Standards team is responsible for overseeing the scheme, vetting traders, regularly examining business and practices, and monitoring reviews and feedback. The scheme centres around a code of practice covering transparent procedures for quoting and carrying out work, only charging a fair and reasonable price, and dealing with complaints promptly. To find out more, head to www.trustedtrader.scot/East Dunbartonshire and check out the www.eastdunbarton.gov.uk/trading-standards. That's www.eastdunbarton.gov.uk/trading-standards.
Lib Dems react to budget. The Liberal Democrats have given their reaction to the recent council budget. The main opposition group on East Dunbartonshire Council, the group proposed an amendment to the budget that would have prevented the phasing out of school crossing patrols and would have stopped grey bin collections changing every 3 weeks. They say the amendment would have seen just £380,000 worth of reserves used to prevent these cuts. Councillor Vaughan Moody, group leader, said, "The settlement from the SNP Scottish Government for the council tax freeze was not fully covered as promised by First Minister Humza Yousaf, and his irresponsible announcement has led to the council having to make cuts. Our amendment was confirmed as financially competent and would have prevented the vacant crossing patrols positions from being removed, and grey bins uplifts would not be reduced. The amendment did not pass."
Share your stories. 240 years of agriculture. The Royal Highland and Agricultural Society of Scotland is calling on Scots to share their stories in recognition of its 240th anniversary. Hoping to weave together a rich tapestry of rural and agricultural tales, 240 years of stories will celebrate the past, present and future of our agricultural community. From memories of farming traditions that have evolved from the horse and cart, to machinery, to farmland being handed down to sons and daughters, to reeling of stories of wins, losses and experiences of attending the Royal Highland Show, RHASS is keen to hear your story. Running over the next 12 months, the initiative kicked off this week with third generation farmer James Logan, who took over his father William's farm in 1990. Like his dad, James has been an RHSS director and will become RHASS chairman in the summer. He lives at Athelstaneford, Mains, near North Berwick, with his wife, Eleanor, farming arable and potatoes. Born in 1965, James took over the farm from his dad in 1990 and developed it from a mixed farm, which his grandfather, John, started in 1931, to what it is known for today. James' dad, Willie, is now 92 and lives just 7 miles away in Samleston, South Mains. Willie's own story of living and farming through the years features on the On Record Memories of Rural Life from the makers of the On Farm podcast, who are a partner of the 240 Years of Stories initiative. James started the Veg Shed, a vegetable shop which diversified the farm by offering fresh potatoes, eggs and vegetables from a vending machine. He said, "Being born on a farm and having come from a line of farmers, you could say I was always destined to become a farmer. While I toyed with other occupations, my love of the countryside and admiration of what my father did within farming prevailed, and, after studying agriculture at university, I knew that farming was the right path for me." Unlike my father, who had and continues to have a great eye for cattle, when I took over the farm, I knew I wanted to run it differently. My dad was very supportive of me changing the format of the farm. We worked together for many years before his semi-retirement, developing our crops and the business, so we have lots of fond memories of the highs and lows of running the business. The way I view the future of the farm is that I'm the custodian of the land for a very short while. I have a son and a daughter who may or may not take over one day. I really encourage them to find their own path to discover what their future looks like. My son, Hamish, studied agricultural too and is currently a food and farming consultant for Savills. He is involved in the young farmers community like I was. My daughter, Anna, has just become a chartered accountant, so while neither of them are currently working on the farm full time, they are part of our succession plan. When they take over, then they will be armed with a broad range of life skills and know-how that will only help to contribute towards future-proofing the land. There are so many other similar stories out there which stretch across generations and how farmland has evolved, the positive impact people have made to the industry, and how the use of the land has changed to support the future food or supply requirements of wider society. I hope that others come forward to share their tales and help create a bank of stories that can be preserved for years to come. RHASS's involvement in supporting both the agricultural and wider community of Scotland stretches from providing financial aid for a newly invented plough, to help manage Highland farmland in the late 1700s, to helping to improve milk supply in the early 1900s, and leading the Scottish Red Cross Agricultural Fund during the war. Throughout its history, it has been committed to rewarding excellence and innovation within the sector through awards and grants. It has also supported the Argyll Naval Fund to support boys who have succeeded in gaining a reserve place in the Royal Navy in the 1800s, and, for 70 years, the Society worked with the Scottish Government to support the health and well-being of the residents of St Kilda. It is hoped that the stories shared as part of the 240 Years of Stories will help RHASS connect the stories it receives to its enduring support and commitment to the industry over the past 2 centuries. Alan Laidlaw, RHASS Chief Executive, added, RHASS was formed 240 years ago, and while the organisation has evolved tremendously since then, the very reason it continues to exist today hasn't changed, and that is to champion agriculture and support those who live and work within it. It's those who have a connection with the sector and industry that we'd love to hear from. Whether you were brought up on a farm, have family who own a farm, or have historic tales of generations gone by who worked within the sector. A commissioner would champion disability rights. Should Scotland have a disability commissioner? That's the question that Holyrood Committee is asking readers to answer. The Disability Commissioner, Scotland Bill, has been introduced by MSP Jeremy Balfour. It would establish a commissioner who would be expected to promote and safeguard the rights of disabled people. The Equalities, Human Rights and Civil Justice Committee will be scrutinising the bill and want to hear views on the proposals in the bill before it takes public evidence. In particular, the committee wants people to share their views on the proposal to establish a commissioner, the powers that the commissioner would have, and the involvement that the disabled people should have in the commissioner's work. The consultation will be open until Friday, May the 17th. Karen Adam MSP, convener of the Equalities, Human Rights and Civil Justice Committee, said, "With approximately 1/5 of Scotland's population defining themselves as disabled, our committee welcomes any discussion on what can be done to ensure that their voices are heard and their rights are protected. Our newly opened consultation will help frame our scrutiny of the proposals in the bill. What we hear from the public will define our evidence sessions and ultimately be reported back to the Parliament. We're especially keen to hear what Scotland's disabled community make of the proposals, which is why we are providing your consultation in a range of formats, including Easy Read and BSL. The Commissioner would advocate for disabled people at a national level, promoting awareness and understanding of their rights, review law, policy and practice, promote best practice by service providers, and have the power to undertake investigations into devolved matters if they relate to disabled people. Mr Balfour has used the Children and Young Persons Commissioner as a template, reflecting on that role's high profile, influence and impact on matters relating to children's rights. To find out more about the consultation and to have your say, visit www.yourviews.parliament.scot/EHRCJ/disability-commissioner-bill by Friday, May 17th.
Wee Box Appeal. SCIAF supporters are being urged to return their wee boxes as this year's Lenten appeal draws to a close. Each year generous Scots give up a favourite treat during Lent, such as crisps, wine, chocolate or chips, and put the money they save into a wee box for SCIAF. The money donated provides a hand up to vulnerable communities in Africa, Asia and Latin America, struggling to survive due to hunger, poverty and climate change. The 2024 appeal focused on the people of Rwanda, 30 years on from the genocide which left around 1 million people dead. SCIAF's Chief Executive Lorraine Curry said, "Driven by donations from the people of Scotland, SCIAF's work across Rwanda includes projects which help rebuild lives, change social attitudes and build a better future." You can make your donation at sciaf.org.uk/webox or call 0141 354 5555.
Free online compass for cancer patients. A new tool has been launched that allows anyone living with or beyond cancer to check their emotional well-being and, in just a few seconds, find the right support. Cancer Compass was developed by Cancer Support UK to help the 1 in 2 people who will develop some form of cancer in their lifetime. Currently, 3 million people in the UK are living with cancer, and that number is predicted to rise to 4 million by 2030. It's a diagnosis that can be devastating in terms of life-changing side effects and challenging emotions. Yet 58% of people diagnosed with cancer feel their emotional needs are not looked after as much as their physical needs, which equates to around 1.7 million people in the UK. This is why Cancer Support UK has developed Cancer Compass, a free online emotional checker tool to help people find and receive the most appropriate practical or emotional support. Because from the moment the words, "you have cancer," are spoken, a person's life is turned upside down. Often there isn't time to think or ask the right questions or know what help is needed. Accessible through the Cancer Support UK website, Cancer Compass allows anyone with a cancer diagnosis to learn what type of support they would benefit from. Cancer Support UK CEO Mark Geimer said, "We know that life during and after cancer can feel very overwhelming and it can be difficult to know where to turn for support. We are acutely aware that there is a lack of awareness of the need for greater emotional support for people facing a cancer diagnosis. Our Cancer Compass tool is incredibly easy to use and is designed to take the stress out of finding what support you need. By answering a few simple questions, people are directed to the most appropriate forms of support for them. Cancer Compass offers 3 main areas of help. Cancer Coach, a free 6-week programme available to anyone with a stage 1 to 3 cancer diagnosis who has completed their treatment and is experiencing low mood, anxiety and worry. Cancer Kits, items for adults and children with cancer to use while receiving treatment and signposting, a comprehensive list of information and websites.
£7.3 million on training. Cancer Research UK has announced £7.3 million to fund the next generation of doctors and scientists in Scotland to bring new and better cancer treatments to patients faster. The funding will train early career clinician scientists, doctors who also carry out medical research as part of the charity's clinical academic training programme. In total, the programme will invest £58.7 million at 9 research centres, including the Cancer Research UK Scotland Centre. Michelle Mitchell, Cancer Research UK's Chief Executive, said, "After the success of first 5 years of this programme, we want to encourage even more clinicians to get involved in cancer research. This will help us get closer to a world where everybody lives longer, better lives free from the fear of cancer."
Family announcements. Deaths. Ginley, Mary, brackets, May. Peacefully at Glasgow Royal Infirmary on April 6th, 2024. Beloved wife of the late Hugh, a much-loved and devoted mum of Suzanne Marie and mother-in-law of Sid. A dear sister-in-law, aunt and great-aunt. Funeral Mass will take place on Thursday, April 25th, 2024 at St Fallon's RC Church, Kirkintilloch for 10 a.m. Thereafter to Old Isle Cemetery for 11:15 a.m. Will be sadly missed by all her family and friends. Kilpatrick, James. Peacefully with his loving family by his side on Monday, April 8th, 2024 at Glasgow Royal Infirmary. James' beloved dad, granddad and brother. Funeral service to take place on Friday, April 26th at St Mary's Parish Church at 10:30 a.m. and thereafter to Old Isle Cemetery. Family flowers only, please. For those who wish, there will be a collection in aid of Asthma plus Lung UK.
Pop the kettle on for tea and a wee blether. Alzheimer's Scotland is calling on readers to get the kettle on and start talking about dementia. The charity's Tea and Blether event will return from May 27th to June 2nd, with the option to host a coffee morning, afternoon tea or bake sale. No matter what you choose, funds raised at home, work or in your local community will help to improve the lives of people with dementia and those who care for them. Every penny raised will be spent in Scotland, and every cuppa poured, cake eaten and experience shared will help to ensure that nobody faces dementia alone. Kirsty Stewart of Alzheimer's Scotland said, "Tea and a Blether is all about connecting with other people and sharing experiences. Whether you're living with dementia, a carer, family member, or you are worried about your memory and looking for ways to maintain your brain health, This is a perfect opportunity to connect with Alzheimer's Scotland and a very supportive community. We are really looking forward to bringing everyone together to raise awareness and vital funds for brain health and dementia care. Here's to even more cuppas, cakes and blethering than ever before. Tea and Blether is held annually to coincide with Dementia Awareness Week. If you register your event online at the Alzheimer's website, you'll be able to access a great fundraising guide. Alzheimer's Scotland centres all over the country will also be running tea and blether events to mark the week. If you're living with dementia or want to know more, pop into your local centre.
Let's talk the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald letters page. Please send your letters via email to kirkyherald@jnscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @JNScotland.co.uk and write letters in the subject field. Please keep letters to a maximum of 300 words. Letters cannot be published without a name and postal address. Also include a daytime phone number if possible. We reserve the right to edit any letter. Strange bedfellows. Sir, so Humza Yousaf is pleading with Scottish voters not to vote Green in the coming election, as a vote for the Greens would be a wasted vote. And Ross Greer, the Green MSP, says that his party will attack the SNP on its record on climate change. Really sums up the strength and maturity of the coalition very succinctly, I think. Yours, etc., Jim Houston, by email. University funding. Sir, I came to Scotland from England via the United States to take up a job at the Institute of Virology in Glasgow. Its lavish funding by the London-based Medical Research Council perpetuated a tradition of funds coming from England to support intellectual activities in Scotland, a tradition that goes back to the 17th century when Eton, Oxford and Cambridge sent money to Aberdeen to be spent on new university buildings, a tradition that continued well into the 20th century. But a new tradition started when Margaret Thatcher became Prime Minister. Let us be hard on the universities. The SNP had continued it with vigour, adopting a European policy of freedom from fees, but with government compensatory funding of unprecedented meanness, a policy characteristic that even applies to the number of Scottish students, which is capped for financial reasons. Why should anyone move to a place where the government is hammering the universities? However, poor standings in international rankings of our educational outcomes and the failure to stop patients lying in trolleys for hours in A&E probably carry more weight. Yours, etc., Hugh Pennington, by email. Trump card. Sir, why is it that failed UK right-wing politicians, including Nigel Farage, Liz Truss and David Cameron, inevitably find themselves gravitating towards and even cheerleading for failed US ex-President Donald Trump? Going by recent UK election polls and his impending court cases, it seems Mr. Trump's engagement diary is going to be rather busy. Yours, etc., D. Mitchell, by email. Thin blue line. Sir, I am tired of hearing Scottish Government spokespeople saying that Police Scotland is receiving record funding and there are more police officers per head of population in Scotland than in England and Wales. These comments seem irrelevant when we are told that the numbers of officers policing our streets are at a 15-year low. It's little wonder that policing unions are warning of increases in organised crime and terrorism, as the lack of contact between police and the public is leading to gaps in crucial intelligence gathering. The Burak that former Justice Minister Kenny McCaskill left when he reorganised Scottish policing seems set to continue, with the public at the receiving end of a reactive rather than a proactive service. And this was the situation before Humza Yousaf inflicted his confused and flawed hate crime act on an unsuspecting public. Yours, etc., Bob McDougall, by email. Level playing field. It has taken many years to bring opportunity and credibility to sport for women. All this progress can be quickly undone if transgender women are permitted to take part in female sport, where there is timing, recording or prizes awarded. Every transgender person included means a biological female has been excluded. This applies at all levels, not just for elite athletes. Every time this happens is a big step backwards for women's sport. Physically, a transgender woman can never be the same as a biological woman. They may appear to be female, but physically are still male. Be transgender and live your life, but not at the expense of biological women in sport. The not yet equal opportunity for women has been so hard won. Yours, etc. Name and address supplied. Historic Tat. Sir, having recently visited several historic Scotland properties, I was appalled and embarrassed by the merchandise on offer in their shops. Every one had the same poor quality foreign tartan tat, as well as extortionately priced plastic toys. Whoever the buyer is obviously thinks one size fits all regardless of where the property is. Historic Scotland is missing a huge opportunity to showcase what Scotland really has to offer by way of crafts and other merchandise. It shows us in a poor light. Hopefully this letter will be a wake-up call. Yours, etc. Avril Lamont, by email. And that was this week's Let's Talk, date Wednesday the 17th of April.
Still top of the pecking order. The results from this year's Big Garden Birdwatch have revealed that house sparrows have held on to the top spot in Scotland for another year. Starlings were riding high at number 2 again, with blue tits coming in third. Chaffinches and blackbirds made up the remainder of the top 5 most recorded species. Over 40,000 people in Scotland joined in the world's largest garden wildlife survey, counting more than 800,000 birds of nearly 50 species. There were over 600,000 participants across the UK as a whole, counting a total of 9.5 million birds. Gardens are an increasingly important habitat for many species. Covering an estimated 4,330 square kilometres across the UK, they are often overlooked when it comes to providing homes for nature. However, not only are gardens potential habitats, but they can also create vital wildlife corridors by connecting up larger green spaces. Director of RSPB Scotland, Anne McCall, said, "Last year's State of Nature report laid out the major challenges facing nature in Scotland. There's been no let-up in the decline of our wildlife over recent decades, with 1 in 9 wildlife species at risk of being lost from Scotland. However, our gardens and community green spaces can make a positive difference to the ongoing nature crisis. They can give a crucial lifeline for struggling species by providing patchwork of potential homes for nature across the country." Big Garden Birdwatch gives the RSPB insights into how some of our most common garden birds are faring. Starlings, for example, can be found across the UK, and their numbers increase dramatically during the winter months when birds arrive from Northern Europe. Despite coming in at number 2 in Scotland this year, it is on the UK Red List of most threatened species due to a sharp decline in breeding since the 1960s. Anne added, "All of us making small changes can affect huge change. Our gardens and community green spaces provide the perfect place for us as individuals to start. To turn your garden or green space into a wildlife haven, visit the RSPB website."
Committee asks Scots to share views on Government's Land Reform Bill. Hollywood's Net Zero Energy and Transport Committee has launched a call for views to support its scrutiny of the Scottish Government's Land Reform Bill. The bill sets out reforms which aims to change the pattern of land ownership in rural and island communities and impose new requirements on larger estates across Scotland. Reforms include, for example, that the sale of land by those owning over 1,000 hectares may be disallowed until ministers have considered the impact on local communities. Landowners may be required to break up their land into smaller lots when selling and provide advance notice of pending sales to encourage interest from communities. The bill also requires the Scottish Government to introduce a model lease for environmental purposes, which is intended to enable tenants to carry out a wide range of environmental land management activities, including sustainable farming. In relation to small land holdings and agricultural tenancies, it lays out various provisions which the Scottish Government say will help to modernise the law. These include, for example, introducing a preemptive right to buy for small landholders and changes to the processes around diversifying land use in relation to the tenancy rent reviews and determining claims at the end of a tenancy. Edward Mountain, MSP committee convener, said, "This bill reopens an important political debate about land, how it is used and managed, how it can contribute to Scotland's environmental objectives, and how it can be used to strengthen rural economics and communities. We all want our rural communities and islands to thrive, and we all want to support sustainability, but we must make sure that the bill takes account of the complexities around the economics of rural land ownership. Measures to rebalance land ownership patterns must also be fair and proportionate. Hearing the views of landowners, estate managers, tenant farmers, communities and stakeholders will help us to ensure that the proposals passed are workable for all. Share your views by May 21st at www.yourviews.parliament.scot. Read by Rebecca.
Good day to you. My name's Philip, and this is the church news from the Kirkintilloch Herald on the 16th of April. And we move first of all to Corder, our Cadder Parish Church, beside the canal. For full details, please see our website, www.cadderchurch.org. We look forward to welcoming you this coming Sunday to our morning worship. The service will be led by the Reverend John McGregor and our probationary minister, Chris Gordon. Music is led by Javier Malo, his name is, and Corder or Cadder kids and creche meet at the church at the start of the service and then go to the North Hall. All are welcome. The services are recorded and are available from the church website. Tea and coffee served after the service. Food bank. If you wish to donate to the local food bank, you can bring your donations of food to the church or the coffee shop. Early fellowship meets in person in the South Hall Chapel at 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday and Thursday, and also on Zoom. Our Boys Brigade meet on a Monday and Friday, and the Girls Brigade meet on a Tuesday. Details on the website. Cadder Coffee Shop is open on a Tuesday to Thursday from 10 till 2 p.m. A Friday 10 a.m. to noon. You will be made most welcome. And check out Monday, the April 22nd is Earth Day. We wish to encourage you to participate. Check out their website for details. And then we move to Colston Well Park Church. Please feel free to join us for our Sunday service at 11 a.m. It is open to all, whether it be your first time or you're interested in a change. A warm welcome will be guaranteed. The service will be conducted by the Reverend Malcolm Curpitson, who's just came back from holiday, lucky him, followed by tea, coffee and conversation in the hall. The Art Club continues every Monday from 10 till 1 p.m. If interested in joining, pop in or give Ramsey a call on 0770 958 4680. For more information, our community drop-in, the Colston Tea Break, continues this Wednesday from 11 till 12:30 p.m. and is open to all who enjoy good chat, good food and more chat and good company, and it's free. The food bank continues its essential work within their community and is open every Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And a big thank you to all who assist and donate, and you'll be most welcome along there. And it's something that Christians and churches do to help and work within the community, because they are the community. And then we move to Bishopbriggs again, to Springfield Cambridge Church. Morning service on Sunday, April 21st, will be conducted by the minister Ian Taylor and assisted by Julie Harty in the sanctuary at 11 a.m. Tea and coffee will be served in the Cameron Hall after morning worship. Come along and enjoy the fellowship. No collection is taken during the service, so donations can be made by placing them in the offering place in the Hall of Fellowship as you enter or leave the building. The Sunday School meets in Room 2, where creche facilities are also available. Morning worship is also being live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge Church YouTube channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website, www.springfieldcambridge.org.uk, and on Facebook page, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can also be found. And there will be a vestry on Wednesday, April the 17th, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for anyone who would like to speak with the minister. And also there will be a short service, a weekly service that they have in the Springfield Chapel on Wednesday, April the 17th, from 11:10 to 11:30 a.m, followed by tea, coffee and the Hall of Fellowship. And I can recommend it. I was there last week and had some nice cup of tea and home baking. And then we have 268 Glasgow Company Boys Brigade Anchor Boys are holding a coffee morning on Saturday, April the 27th, from 10 till noon in the Cameron Hall. Tickets are available for Anchor Boys staff. Then the Glasgow Company of Boys Brigade Junior Section are holding a Beetle Drive on Saturday, April the 27th at 7 p.m. in the Cameron Hall. Tickets are priced £3 for adults and £1 for children, and are available from Junior Section staff. And the Guild is inviting congregations to join them in supporting the Eastern Bartonshire Food Bank warehouse by bringing donations and leaving them in the cupboard in the cloakroom. A list is attached to the cupboard door identifying specific items that are especially requested. And then we move to Kirkintilloch, to Home Church, and they meet in Lammermuir Road, Kirkintilloch, and then they have a sister church which meets in the East End in Carmyle, and they are also online, and it's a church for all ages. And I've been to their services as well. If you like singing, you'll enjoy there, and a good word as well is shared. And to speak of the good Lord, in Psalm 86:5, you, O Lord, are forgiving and good, abounding in love to all who call upon you. And on Sunday, April the 21st, there's a service at 9:30 a.m, and then it's followed by refreshments. Then there's another service at 11:30 a.m, followed by refreshments. And these, you can attend one service or both. They're both identical services. And they also have another service at 10 a.m. and 6:30 in their Carmyle Home Church. And then on Tuesdays at 9:30 a.m, they have biblical teaching in a meeting. It's called the Engine Room. And then there's a house groups on Tuesdays. Bible study on Zoom Wednesday is now called the Boiler Room in the church at 7:15. It's set to last Wednesday in the month, which will be a prayer meeting, and on all social media platforms. Youth group meets on Fridays at 7:30. Home radio is available every day. Check out Home Radio. You get it on the internet as well. And if you've got a radio, it's on 100.8 FM. And if you like to hear my dulcet tones again, tune in on Monday nights, 8 till 9 p.m. to the Mission Show. And you check them out as well, the church on Facebook, Instagram, and the Home Church website for all the latest information for the church in Carmyle and Kirkintilloch. Bishopbriggs, to St James Church, Hilton Road. The minister is the Reverend Canon Paul Watson. And you can contact him if you wish on the phone, 0141 230 4080. On Saturday, April the 20th, dads and kids are held from 10:45 till noon. And it's a great chance for dads with young children to get together around some banter, bacon rolls and coffee while the kids play. On Sunday, April the 21st, there will be a Sunday club at 10:30 a.m. There is also a communion service at 11 a.m. on Thursday in the chapel, and on Sunday, April the 21st, in the chapel at 9 a.m. and at 10:30 a.m. in the church. Everyone is welcome to come along to do any of the services. Do stay for tea, coffee and fellowship afterwards. There are also other virtual services and groups. For up-to-date information, refer to our social media, Facebook, St James LS, Bishopbriggs, website www.stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. And then in Kirkintilloch, to the Church of God in Kirkintilloch in Regent Hall in Regent Street on Sunday, there will be a good news service at 4 p.m. The speaker this week will be Michael Johnston. Everyone is welcome. Every Wednesday our coffee corner is open from noon till 2 p.m. for home baking and coffee. Join our friends and neighbours for a chat over a coffee. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website on www.regenthall.org. And they quote the Bible here. It says, "The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory and the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace." And you can find that reading in John 1 verse 14. And then we move to Lenzie Union Church. And their service on Sunday is led by Dan Carmichael. A creche is provided for babies and toddlers. Young people are also welcome to the Lighthouse and Bible class. A live stream of the service is on YouTube via our website. The meeting place opens for tea and coffee and home baking every Wednesday at 10 till noon in the new hall. Everyone is welcome to attend. Youth Cafe Thursdays 3:45 to 5, a place where young people can hang out, relax and have a good time after a long day at school. Each week there is a free snack with lots of different things to do, such as games, consoles, table tennis, arts and crafts, board games and more. The coffee pot is open from Fridays at 10 till noon in the new hall for tea, coffee and chat. And Messy Church is on Saturday the April the 20th from 4 till 5 p.m. It's in the new hall. Everyone is welcome to come along to a fun-filled hour, challenges and crafts and experiments. Silver Movers dance exercise takes place at 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 in the old hall on Monday, April the 22nd. Come and dance and relax and enjoy. And if you wish to speak to someone about it, contact Claire on 0742125722. And then we move to Lenzie Old Parish Church. Sunday worship begins in the church at 11 a.m. A creche is available for children under 3. Time out on Mondays, 7:45 in the church hall. A social evening for ladies. The Church and Quilt group meet every Wednesday, 10 a.m. till noon in the session room. And then the Scottish Country Dancing is on every Thursday from 7:15 p.m. till 9:30. Come along for fun, fitness and friendship and you'll be made very welcome. And then we move back to Bishopbriggs to Kenmure Parish Church. Our Assistant Minister, the Reverend Kay Gardner, will lead us in our worship this Sunday at 11 a.m. You are welcome to join us both in church and on our YouTube channel. The services on YouTube can be watched live as it is streamed or later at a time that suits you. And you can find our channel by simply searching for Kenmure Bishopbriggs on YouTube. Teas and coffees and a time of fellowship follows the end of the church service. The most up-to-date details of our groups currently running may be found on the WhatsApp section of their website, kenmure-church.co.uk. Find us also on Facebook, search for Kenmure Parish Church. And if you'd like to join our WhatsApp group or receive the Bible studies from ABC, then email us at kenmurechurch@icloud.com. And lastly but not least, Milton of Campsie Parish Church. Connect Cafe is on Tuesday morning. On Wednesday, the Guild have their annual general meeting and bring and buy, followed by a fish supper lunch, that's good. Time to pray is on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. This will be followed by a Teams meeting at 7:45. Our 5 teams are Tell, Teach, Tend, Transform and Treasure, and they will discuss the way forward with their remits. And next Sunday we'll be reading Psalm 119. Please send a photograph of yourself with honey or jam. And the BB resumes this Friday at 6:15. Preparations are now being made for the SU camp at Gowan Bank. During the week, the first week of school holidays and Go Mad, and the beginning July the 28th, you can help with prayer, accommodation, finance or hands-on. Go Mad is joining Thy Kingdom Come, a global wave of prayer from May the 9th to the 19th, Ascension to Pentecost. More about this later, and if you want to know more, check out the Milton of Campsie Parish Church website and Facebook. I'm sure they'd love to have you along. Well, thank you for listening to me, and hopefully you'll find the church news interesting and you might pop in to one of the churches at your earliest convenience. God bless. My name again is Philip.
Wednesday the 17th of April. District News General. Financial advice. Get help as council tax debt surges. By Advice Direct Scotland. Scots struggling with council tax payments have been urged to seek support as new figures show that some people are facing debts of up to £5,000. Advice Direct Scotland, which runs the free moneyadvice.scot service, has seen a surge in the number of people asking for help. It is expecting further rises as new annual bills arrive through letterboxes and in email inboxes across the country. Between January and February, the organisation recorded a 132% increase in council tax debt inquiries, along with a 257% rise in the number of payment plans arranged for those in arrears. Debts range between £2,000 and £5,000. Advice Direct Scotland is warning that due to the cost of living crisis, people are focusing more on essentials like food, housing and energy, making it harder for them to pay their council tax. Council tax arrears are considered a priority debt, meaning they should be dealt with first to avoid faster and more service enforcement measures compared to commercial debt. Councils can swiftly enforce debt collection measures such as bank or wage arrestment, targeting people in arrears of just 1 month, including the possibility of seizing benefits to recover owed payments. Advice Direct Scotland stressed the need for anyone who has missed a payment to contact their council promptly rather than waiting for the local authority to reach out to them and ask to pay in smaller amounts. It is also reminding people on low incomes to check if they are eligible for a reduction on their council tax bill and apply to their local authority. Those worried about council tax and other debts can seek support from moneyadvice.scot, that's moneyadvice.scot, which is regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Specialist advisors are available to help anyone in Scotland assess their current situation, look at their income and outgoings, and consider what to do next. This includes assessing that people are receiving all the benefits they are entitled to. The free service can be found via the website www.moneyadvice.scot or on 0808 196 2316. John Baird, Head of Debt Services Advice Direct Scotland, said, "Nobody should struggle alone, and our specialist debt advisors can consider what to do next." Horticultural Society. At our March meeting, members enjoyed an interesting and informative talk when Bob Robertson spoke to us about growing plants hydroponically. Some of us will maybe try this method in the coming growing season. We also held our early spring show with a good display of colourful entries. As last year, with a late spring, we're also encouraging members to bring plants and flowers to our next meeting for our late spring show. The next meeting will take place in Enterprise House on Thursday, April the 18th from 7:30pm to 9:30pm, when our speaker will be Chris Tomlinson, who will talk to us about guerrilla gardening. He will explain how and why he secretly plants edible produce, perennials and trees on public and private lands, untended gardens and even city streets. Potential new members will be made welcome on the night, or, for more information about the Society, please contact Paul Malcolm on 0141 578 1520 or visit our website www.kirkintillochhorty.org.uk. Wood burning debate. Rural communities are supportive of the need to improve energy efficiency and lower emissions, but the Scottish Government needs to engage better with rural Scotland on its policy making. Scottish Lands and Estates, the rural business organisation, has once again called for better rural proofing of policies in the wake of the debacle this week over a ban on wood-burning stoves in new homes. The Scottish Government has rowed back on a ban being in place, stating that stoves can still be installed in new homes for emergency purposes. SLE, whose members provide homes for around 13,000 families across rural Scotland, said, "A lack of effective communication and understanding of rural communities from government was creating unbridled frustration across the country." Anna Gardiner, Policy Advisor, Rural Property, at Scottish Land and Estates, said, "The premise of improving energy efficiency and lowering emissions is widely supported, including by rural communities. We recognise that there is a real need to address climate change. This needs to be a carefully thought out plan which joins up many elements involved in heating buildings. particularly true in rural communities where the energy needs and the energy availability differ from an urban context. For many people living in Scotland's rural and island communities, wood burners are the cheapest, most efficient way to warm their homes because of a ready supply of local timber. The gas grid present in cities such as Edinburgh and Glasgow does not exist in many rural settings.
Can you give Shadow a home? Meet Shadow, a 4-year-old collie lab crossbreed with a heart full of love and boundless energy. Shadow is a very affectionate and bouncy boy who forms close bonds with the people he spends most time with. His intelligence shines through, and he quickly learns new things, and especially if treats are involved. Shadow thrives on consistency, requiring patient and committed owners. He is best suited to a calm, adult-only home and could possibly live with another dog who can match his energy. Shadow is a profoundly loving and affectionate boy, eager to please and ready to embark on a new chapter filled with love and adventures. Please contact us on 01506 873 459. Maxwell String Quartet. The Maxwell Quartet's much anticipated pandemic delayed return to Mulgai showcases their acclaimed Haydn in the first of his wondrous Op. 20 quartets. The sublime slow movement, marks tender and sustained, would alone be worth the concert ticket, but a performance of Beethoven's C-sharp minor quartet is surely unmissable. This great work, which Beethoven himself considered the summit of his achievement in quartet writing, is unsurpassed in its emotional and dramatic scale. It is music that, to borrow Mahler's phrase, really does embrace the world. The concert takes place in Cairns Church on Friday, April the 19th at 8 p.m.
Planning notices. East Dunbartonshire Council public notices. The East Dunbartonshire Council, Bimoldy Road, Bishopbriggs, temporary closure, Order 2024. On the 16th of April 2024, the East Dunbartonshire Council made the above-named order under Section 16 (a) of the Road Traffic Regulation Act 1984 as amended, to be observed by vehicles between 10 a.m. and 3:45 a.m. on Sunday the 28th of April 2024 for reasons of public safety and convenience. Road closure. Bimoldy Road, Bishopbriggs, between Stirling Drive and the East Dunbartonshire Council / Glasgow City Council boundary. Access will be maintained for emergency service vehicles, vehicles engaged in the event's activity, and those vehicles requiring access to properties or land adjacent to the closed section of road. Alternative route. The alternative routes for vehicles are by way of Bimoldy Road, Hilton Road, the A803 Kirkintilloch Road, the A807 Torrance Road, the A807 Balmore Road, the A879 Balmore Road, and these routes will be signposted. Karen Donnelly, Chief Solicitor and Monitoring Officer, East Dunbartonshire Council, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Civic Government (Scotland Act 1982. Application for temporary public entertainment licence. The under noted has applied for the grant of a temporary public entertainment licence in terms of the above Act. Name and address of applicant. World of Clowns Limited, T/A, Zippos Circus. N. Bourne, Newbury, RG20 0LD. Premises: Woodhead Park, Lindsay Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 3DD. Day-to-day manager: Paul John Winston, 114 Hawkins Close, Great Yarmouth, NR304AZ. Type of entertainment, circus. Dates and times of operation: 26th of June 2024, 7:30 p.m. until 9:30 p.m. 27th and 28th of June 2024, 3 p.m. until 8 p.m. 29th and 30th of June 2024, 12 noon to 8 p.m. 1st of July 2024, 12 noon to 8 p.m. Any objections or representations in terms of paragraph 3 brackets 1 of Schedule 1 of the Act should be logged with the undernoted no later than 28 days from the publication date of the newspaper in which this advertisement appears. Chief Solicitor and Monitoring Officer, Legal and Regulatory Services, Eastern Bartonshire Council, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Members' surgeries. Councillors' arrangements for interviewing residents. Ward 5, Bishopbriggs South, Councillor Gordon Lowe. 20th of April 2024, Bishopbriggs Academy Dining Area, 10 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. 20th of April 2024, Bishopbriggs Library and Community Hub, Room 1, 11:15 a.m. until 12 noon. 20th of April 2024, Auchnairn CE Centre, 12:30 p.m. to 1:15 p.m, Room 1. Ward 7, Kirkintilloch East and North and Twecker. Councillor Pamela Marshall. 20th of April 2024, Kirkintilloch Hub, Room 1, 10 a.m. till 10:45 a.m. 20th of April 2024, Hillhead Community Centre, Room 2, 11:15 a.m. until 12 noon. 20th of April 2024, Twecker Healthy Living Centre, 12:15 p.m. until 1 p.m. Between surgeries, councillors can be contacted at the Members Support Unit on 0300 1234 Again, that phone number for the Members Support Unit is 0300 1234 Planning applications. Format: application number followed by address/location, followed by proposal, followed by type of advert, followed by period of reps. TP/ED/24/0136 13 Grove Park, Lenzie, Eastern Berkshire, G66 5AH. Erection of garden room, Section 65, affecting CA, 21 days. If you are unable to view the plans on the Council's website, then please contact the Planning Duty Officer to arrange a suitable time to view the plans in our offices. Written comments may be made within the above period to the Council through the Council's website or to the above address. Any representations will be treated as public documents and made available for inspection by interested parties, and may also be published on the Council's website. Rossvale could be ahead of schedule. An article written by Brian Yule and read by me, Corey. Rossvale boss George Gardner says if his side wins promotion this season, it will be a year ahead of schedule. Gardner took over in the summer following spells at Gartcairn, Albion Rovers, Clyde and St Cuthbert's Wanderers. With Rossvale currently sit third in the WOS 4th Division, having thrashed Carluke Rovers 6-0 at home on Saturday. Glenvale and Thorn Athletic look likely to occupy 2 of the promotion spots, so Gardner's men face a 3-way battle with Lugar Boswell Thistle and Giffnock for the remaining 1. He said, "After being at Wanderers, I wanted to come back up the road, and Rossvale approached me with essentially a blank canvas, and there has been very little, if any, interference from the committee. They just put their trust in me. I've enjoyed it so far as we look to get the Rossvale name back up where it belongs. I thought it would be a year or 2 before we made a serious challenge. We are already in with a great chance this season. It isn't quite in our hands, but having only kept on 2 players from last season to be where we are this season is great credit to everyone at the club. And we already have 19 of the boys signed for next season. So if we do just miss out, we'll be ready to go again. Rossvale will have to play the waiting game as they don't return to action until May 4th for their penultimate game of the season away to BSC Glasgow. The champagne is still on ice for Rossvale women as they lost 2-1 away to second place Ayr United. This saw United narrow the gap at the top of the championship to 3 points, but with the leaders having a plus 22 goal difference. This means only a heavy loss to Inverness Cally Thistle and a huge win for United against East Fife will prevent Rossvale from being crowned champions on the final day. Before that, Rossvale will be in Alloa this Sunday to face Dryborough Athletic in the Championship and League One Cup final. That article was written by Brian Yule and it was read by me, Corey. City's defeat to Gers was embarrassing, says Amy. This article was written by Brian Yule and read by me, Corey. Glasgow City fullback Amy Muir described the result as embarrassing, as they lost 4-1 away to Rangers women on Sunday. The home side took the lead on 21 minutes as Rio Hardy scored from the spot, but City were level 10 minutes before the break when Lauren Davidson slotted home. However, the SWPL1 leaders secured the 3 points in the second half with goals from Lizzie Arnott, Chelsea Cornett and Mia Macaulay. Having also lost to Celtic in their last outing, it was another blow to City's aspirations to retain the title, now 7 points off the top. They will look to get back to winning ways at home to Partick Thistle tonight, Wednesday, and then travel away to Hibernian on Sunday. Muir told the club's media team, "It's embarrassing for us. Where we are in the league, we want to be competing well in these games, and to come away with that result is disappointing. We are really frustrated because I think we expect a lot more, and the fans obviously expect a lot more as well. But we just did not show what we are like, and how good we can be at all. I don't think we played particularly well in the first half. We could have done more and there were opportunities for us, but we didn't test them enough. We tried it a bit more at the start of the second half to actually play, but when you lose another goal, we can't let that affect us to the point you concede another, because there is no way back into the game. We have a game on Wednesday and a lot more games to play, so this doesn't change anything. It is the same mentality that we want to get maximum points." Petershill and Ashfield are both still in the hunt for promotion from the WOS First Division. Ashfield won 4-1 at home to Maybole Juniors, while Petershill drew 1-1 away to St Roch's. West Park United are 8 points from safety in the third division, with 5 games left to play after a 3-1 defeat away to Irvine Victoria. Saturday fixtures: Premier Division, Kirkintilloch Rob Roy versus Cumnock Juniors. First Division, Neilston versus Ashfield. Second Division, Caledonian Locomotives versus Cumbernauld United, Glasgow Pershore versus Kilsyth Rangers. Third Division, Glasgow United versus West Park United. That article was written by Brian Yule and read by me, Corey. The rain is a pain for fantastic Tigers. This article was written by Phil Lanning and read by me, Corey. Glasgow Tigers captain Chris Harris delivered an opening home race maximum win seconds after jumping out of his van, and arrived at Ashfield with the 2-minute warning on for the start of Heat 1 with Edinburgh Monarchs. He changed into his race suit in the van, leapt out and then scored a 5-1 win with team partner James Pearson, passing both Josh Pickering and Lasse Fredriksson. Glasgow stormed into an early 21-15 lead over Edinburgh as they looked to bounce back from a 48-42 defeat to Berwick Bandits in the BSN series. The weather caused the postponement of the season opener at Monarchs, and it once again intervened as this fixture had to be abandoned due to heavy rain. Team boss Cammy Brown said, "It was the most sensational start to our season at Ashfield. Only Chris could do that sort of thing. He was on a borrowed bike and then came from last to second to win the race with James. He crossed the finishing line, yet literally 2 minutes earlier he wasn't even in the stadium. We made a brilliant start and it was shaping up to be a huge meeting, but the rain just poured down. It was such a shame. I was impressed by James and Ace Pidgeper, and Steve Worrell was super classy. It's a real blow the rain ruined it. Tigers are back in action at home on Friday night as they host Berwick." That article was written by Phil Lanning and read by me, Corey.
That concludes this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our channels at Tune Review and to tell your friends about our service.